Hello knitters, my name is Joji and I am a knitter from Buenos Aires in Argentina. This is my knitting journal. I haven't recorded for a very long time, so I am very out of practice. I'm also recording for the first time using my phone. I normally use my computer, which allows me to look straight into the camera while looking at what I'm talking about. But today I'm using my phone, so that means that if I want to look at what I'm doing, my eyes will be a little bit towards the right or the left, depending on how this records. I know that can be annoying for some people that I'm not looking at the camera like this all the time, but it's the best I can do. Honestly, my latest videos were very dark, and that's because my webcam on my computer is quite poor quality. I have been thinking and considering getting a proper vlogging cam, but given the frequency that I do my videos, probably that's not the smartest investment right now. So let's try with the phone. I hope that it's good enough for you. I hope we have fun together and that the quality or where I'm looking at doesn't really affect how you feel about watching my journals. As always, I'm so happy to be here. It's a sunny day. It's getting colder in Buenos Aires. We're headed towards our winter, and I'm cozy here in my office. This is my office. It can be a mess. It's not the messiest it has been, but it's quite messy today. You might also be wondering if there's anything weird about my face, so I'm gonna talk about that. I am wearing new aligners for my teeth. It's the first time I do this. I probably should have worn brackets when I was a teenager, like most people, but we weren't able to do that when I was young, and then I was very scared to do that as an adult. And now my two teenage boys needed corrections, so I was persuaded to do that myself. So I am wearing these invisible or almost invisible things on my teeth, but they are kind of uncomfortable, and they also probably change the way I speak a little bit or my face shape, but I think I'm going to be wearing these for a long time, so I thought I would just like wear them on the journal too and not take them off. Okay, let's start with the good news. I have a new pattern out, and that's probably what gave me the push to record this journal, and I want to share it with you all. I am wearing this shirt because I thought it would be fun to have something matching my new cardigan design out today on Ravelry and on my website. It can be a bit much to have matching shirt and cardigan, but I think it looks good. I don't normally wear all this color, so I thought I would go all in for it. So there you go. This is called the Funky Stripes, and it's a design that I shared most of while recording last year my journals, and I am in love with this thing. And honestly, as always, I keep my designs untouched until I can show them during one of my journals. And as the winter is coming, the fall has already come, I am eager to be wearing this thing right now. It's the perfect cardigan. So it's like an open front cardi. It's a seamless construction. You start casting on for all the pieces, the fronts, the back, and the shoulder lines. And so you make increases on every row to make the cardigan grow, and so you can also do the striping without many problems because you are working on the pieces at the same time. And then you continue with the fronts and the back separately until you join everything in the underarm, and then you finish the body. The sleeves are added later, so all that you have from the sleeve are the shoulder stitches, and then you have to pick up stitches to work this satin sleeve seamlessly too. And also the collar, or like the front bands, are added later to add a little bit of a funky, not matchy band. Well, if you have watched all the growth of this design while I was talking about it in previous journals, I apologize because I'm going to be talking about the same, and I know that I did it so many times, but perhaps someone's watching or learning about this design for the first time, and it's been a while. So here I go. This yarn was gifted to me by my friend Sarah, and Sarah is the owner of 2 yarn companies. The one that I use for this cardigan is the Lamb and Kid, and they are over in Bainbridge Island in Washington State in the US. So last year my family and I visited the area, and I was able to meet Sarah, and she gifted me some yarns. She gifted me 2 bases. This is called Todd, T-O-D, and it's a DK weight cashmere blend. Very, very elegant and soft. And she also gifted me some Momo. So the Todd is 65% yak, 35% cashmere, and it's 150 yards per 50 gram skein. So this is the Todd tag. And she also gifted me Momo, which is a mohair blend, 76% mohair, 24% silk, 430 yards per 50 gram skeins. So I had 3 skeins of each, so 150 grams of each color of the Todd and 3 skeins of the Momo, or 150 grams of the mohair. I wanted to use them combined, but none of the colors I didn't have enough to make a sweater in one color. Then, because I had both bases in both colors, I decided I could mix one base with the opposite mohair. So this sweater has been knitting, for example, this is Momo and Todd both in pink. This is Todd in pink and Momo in blue. This is both bases blue, and this is Todd in blue and Momo in pink. So I decided to stripe the yarns, but also create new colors by marling the base, one base with the opposite color base. And then I just kept the sequence, like, okay, this is color 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I just kept the sequence, but the width of the stripes was completely random. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So I just kept the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence, but all the stripes are random. The sleeves are different too. It just gives the sweater a more fun look than if I was doing if I was keeping the same sequence, or if I was doing regular stripes. And I cannot say that this yarn is durable yet because I haven't worn it enough, but I can say that this endured quite a bit of back and forth knitting, and it's been moving around my house quite a lot. And unlike most very delicate fibers like cashmere blends, this looks like it's going to last a very long time. And I've had the same experience every time I work with the my yak yarn, which is also a yak blend. In case of the my yak, it's 100% yak, but I find the yak fiber to be very soft and extremely durable. I haven't had any peeling in any of my yak projects, So I am really certain that this cardigan is going to last this beautiful for a very long time. But I don't love it when I finish a garment and it looks like garbage, not garment, in just a couple of weeks. I like my sweaters to look brand new all the time, as if I have just finished knitting them. And this fabric I really love. I would probably kill to have one of these in plain gray. That's something that I should probably think about, designing something maybe with a twist, but in a plain gray, so that I can enjoy a sweater with these proportions. I've been wearing a lot of more cropped layers lately, probably because I tend to wear baggier jeans like I'm wearing now. So I welcome this new length, which is not cropped, but it's just not my tunic length that you guys might be used to me wearing when I wear my leggings or my skinny jeans. So this is called the Funky Stripes cardigan. It's knit on US 8 or 5mm needles, and it grows so quickly. This is probably one of the fastest cardigans you can make. It's a fun way to use your yarn in clever ways. So if you can find tons of leftovers that you feel happy mixing up, then it's a great way to stash fast, you know. The gauge, if I'm not mistaken, is 15, either 14 or 15 stitches to 4 inches. And so that makes for a super quick project. I have quite a few finished objects that I can share some of, but they will not become patterns in the near future. The first one is this one that you see behind me. This is a design that I'm working on for a collaboration with my friend Vera. It's a circular yoke basic pullover, and it's work with sport weight yarn. I used the Magpie Fibers Nest worsted. It's a Corriedale worsted weight yarn, and I'm in love. What can I say? It's just beautiful, and it's black and white, so perfection. Since I'm speaking of Vera and I thought I would share with you guys that interpretations will be a bit different this year. So our publishers can't print interpretations anymore as of this year. So we were kind of sad, but we also took it as a sign that maybe we needed to update our collaborations too. Interpretations has been printed for 8 volumes. Each volume came out annually with 12 patterns, and often Vera and I felt that we worked really hard to produce 12 patterns, but then the knitters could only enjoy a few of them. Most knitters would not necessarily care for all the 12 patterns that we were putting there, or not all at the same time. So for us, it felt like, okay, we were giving the knitters the best that we could produce, but it was a bit of an overkill to have all the patterns come out at the same time. So I know it's very nostalgic. I'm very attached to interpretations the way it is. We both are, Vera and I, but we talked about maybe evolving to a more dynamic type of collaboration. So we have decided to, first of all, we're going to go digital for a while and see if everyone still likes the idea of having interpretations in their PDF library. I know I publish all of my ebooks, all of the ebooks that I work on my own. They are only digital and everyone really enjoys them. So that gives also the yarn stores the ability to sell the ebooks at their store. But I also know that there will be many of us who are sad that interpretations is not the way it used to be. That's fine. I think that in order to grow, we have to go through periods of loss. So anyway, that was the sad part. The good part is that we are as close as ever, and we are always working together. We always plan new projects together. Our friendship is not going anywhere. So of course interpretations is going on, and we have just finished producing the first of these new interpretations, which will contain 4 patterns, 2 from them and 2 from me, and we shot those in the Netherlands during a recent trip that we did together. So those patterns are really awesome. You have seen some of them here in the journal, and I hope that you will support our new projects when they come out. And this striped sweater that I showed you won't come out until the following next interpretations, which will probably be for the fall. So the first interpretations will come out real soon for the spring, summer more than spring, and then we'll have one in the fall with 4 more projects. Then I'm also working with Vera on a new workshop. Yeah, it's a workshop class. We're both going to be teaching in just a couple of weeks I think the retreat starts on June 13, and we're going to be doing that in upstate New York in Lake Placid. You know that I haven't been teaching for years now. I stopped teaching, so I stopped accepting teaching jobs back in 2018, 17, 18. And then I had commitments to travel for work until May 2019. And my plan was to stop traveling for work so much so that I could actually travel with my husband more and or by myself and do some solo adventures. And because I was kind of tired and my classes were most of the time they were the same, and I felt that I didn't have anything new to offer. So I decided to stop doing that. And then shortly after we started traveling again with my husband and family, the pandemic hit. So I was tied to my home for a long time, you know about this. And I also said, I will never ever say again that I don't want to travel. If I ever say I'm tired of traveling, anyone who hears me can punch me in the face. That's what I said. Really missed the opportunity to meet up with other knitters, the opportunity to be with someone in the same room. I tried online teaching a couple of times during the pandemic. You guys know that I taught for VK Live. I also taught for Barcelona Knits virtually, and I did a few live events where I wasn't teaching but maybe talking about what I do or our new books or my bag companies. But even though live events are accessible to a lot more people, online events are accessible to a lot more people than events in person, me as a human being, as a person, I don't get the same out of it. I don't get the same energy from the people that I get to see when I'm in an in-person event. I don't get to travel, I don't get to see the world. Everything's done from this room, and I really miss the interaction. And to be able to be booked to go on a trip is something very, very uplifting. So when Vogue offered me a job to teach, I said yes, but I asked them if they could come up with a place where I could also do something that I love. Because every time that I teach, I have to go very far from home. Traveling to the US, my first flight is at least 11 hours, and a lot of places are not 11 hours away. They are a first flight and a second flight away. Europe is the same. I have more direct flights to Europe, but still most of the times we're looking at 15-16 hours travel time each way. I have to get tested for COVID sometimes, or make sure that everything, all the paperwork is up to date. And I often get new clothes because I want to look good when I travel. So all of that is really expensive, even though I might be teaching for 2 or 3 days every time I travel. I go for a week because I have to travel for 2 days, and then I have to sleep to get over the jet lag. So it's quite an expensive project for me to go to teach. I am being paid for that project, but what I'm paid doesn't cover the entire time that I'm away from home, if that makes sense. So I decided that I needed to write my intentions when I'm going somewhere to teach. So I'm trying to go to places where I would go even if I wasn't working. So maybe mountains or a lake, or a place where there's a lot of nature and I can hike, or a place where I get to see a lot of my old friends, and so we get to meet up, and I would do a journey like that to see my friends. So all of this to say that I asked Vogue if they could think of a place where I could hike, a place that has some mountains for me to explore, because that's my other passion. And they were very fabulous, and they picked this resort in Lake Placid area, which is in the Adirondack mountain range. And they also booked my best friend to teach with me, Vera. And so because we were going together and we wanted to spend as much time as we could with each other, we asked them if it was okay that we develop a workshop where we can be at the same time in the classroom. So for this retreat, all of the attendees will be with us the entire time. So it involves a larger room. And so while Vera is talking, perhaps I'm taking measurements or making sure that everyone's understanding what she's talking about, and vice versa. So what could we teach that would allow us to do that? Sweater making. We wrote a basic raglan pattern, and then Vera and I worked modifications for different styles and fits. So we wrote variations for a crew neck, for a V-neck, for a cardigan, for a pullover, with a crop length, with a tunic length, with a regular length. And everything's written down in the handouts. And also Vera and I, we both each needed a sample using these variations, and so we can show the differences in how things fit with different amounts of positivism. If we get to teach this workshop again, I hope that we will eventually start building up our collection of modified sweaters, but this is what the workshop is about. And also, when I showed some photos of one of the garments on Instagram, a lot of people asked nicely. Others demanded that this becomes available as a pattern on Ravelry or as an online class. But I wanted to explain why initially we are not gonna put it out as a pattern or as an online class. First of all, we worked for several months to make sure that the people who are making a big effort to come see us, they get something that they can't get on Ravelry. We want them to know that we designed something especially for them. This is not a pattern that no one has seen before. It's a basic sweater pattern. It's just written in a way that it's accessible for you to modify according to your body measurement. If we put out the pattern, then we're just repeating what we wrote and what people can purchase for the pattern cost. We're just repeating that during the workshop, and I don't think it would be fair to the people who are coming. Explained how Vera and I feel about online teaching. We can do it, but it's not our favorite thing to do. So we will still teach online some things, like some of the classes we have offered previously online, some of our other classes, but first we will save this project that we have spent so much time on so that we can actually offer it when we decided to travel, because it's our new baby. It's something that we spent a lot of time developing so that we could actually travel together and be together in the same room. And so we really want to protect that. Having said this, I'm going to show you the projects that we made. My mom and Carla helped me make these garments. So the first is this little sweater that fits really nicely. I'm going to add a photo in the screen so that you can see how it looks on me, because I think that when a sweater is so basic, it doesn't say much when hanging or when you show it, but the secret here is how it fits. So I'm really happy with the way it fits. This is the sample that we needed to show everyone what a sweater with negative looks like. So in the photos I'm showing, I'm wearing this sweater with 2 inches of negative ease. That means that it's 2 inches smaller than my body measurements, and so it obviously has a tight fit. And also this one carries the instructions for the V-neck version. This sweater was made with 2 skeins of Barnyard Knits sock or fingering, and the colorway is called Oyster, and I really like it. And it's again a yarn that it's so versatile. It looks like it's going to be very durable. I would use it for socks, for all sorts of things. And this one, I haven't shown it to anyone yet. This one was knitted by my friend Carla, and I adore it. I'm going to add a photo too, because again, it doesn't say much, but I love it. Thank you, Carly, for helping me make this one. This is the cardigan version with a crew neck. And we also included instructions for some fading for this design, and Carla knitted it using Northbound Knitting yarn. This was a gift from my friend Terry from Feather Your Nest, and it's the merino silk fingering, 50% superwash merino, 50% silk, 438 yards per 100 grams, and it was a 3-color fade. I don't think I can say which one's which, but I'm going to take my chances. Maybe the silvery one with the speckles is called Lunar. Then maybe the medium gray with the black speckles is called Ink Blot. And then maybe the gray is called Midnight. I don't know. So one of them is Lunar, one of them is Ink Blot, and one of them is Midnight. In this case, we did progressive striping every 4 rows, then striping every other row, and then 4 rows again before you move to the next color. And so we are going to, and this is the standard fit. So this one is worn with 2 inches of positives on my body. So it's not tight, it's not boxy either, it's just the right fit for my body measurements. So those garments are going to be displayed at the Vogue Knitting Live retreat, and maybe in the future, later in the year, we're going to teach it again somewhere else. I'm also probably trying to limit the amount of traveling that I do for work, but so far I am very excited to be traveling again. I can't tell you guys how much I've missed meeting with people. I'm going to show you some works in progress. I have 3 works in progress at the moment. The first one is, of course, a pair of socks. I was not allowing myself to make any socks at the moment, or at least until recently, because I felt like I wasn't really focusing on my knitting, and every time I felt like knitting, I kept knitting on socks that weren't meant to become a pattern. And so I stopped myself from knitting socks for a while so that I could focus on the knitting, and I did a lot of knitting for projects I can't share yet. But I finished, I managed, and so as soon as we were ready to go on a trip again, I allowed myself to start a new pair of socks. So these are a pair of plain socks for my son Nano, and I am using leftover yarn from a wrap that I recently finished, and this is La Bien-Aimée, one of my favorite yarns. They are Merino Sport, you on that one, but these 2 colors are part of a wrap design that I am publishing with the Interpretations Spring Summer. I had a lot of yarn left over from the kits that I have, so I decided to make him a pair of socks, and they are just plain stockinette stitch warm socks. I am keeping them inside one of my favorite bags from Hojie and Co. I have been looking for this tape measure for a while, and it's my forage bag, and it's a bit of a big bag for a pair of socks, but I forgot my sock bag, my box bag that I use all the time. I forgot it at the summer house, so I'm using this one instead, and it's very nice. I mean, there's room to carry a bottle of water around the house, or my notions pouch, and anything that I want. It's a bit of an overkill for a pair of socks, but it works. Hojie and Co, by the way, our bag company, is doing great. We are over 3 years old now. Can you believe? I can't. So in March we turned 3 years old, and yeah, we're strong, and we're still making the most beautiful bags that I can think of, and everything's always popular, and we always get the best customers and the most beautiful feedback, and it's just a company that makes me incredibly happy. I tend to not talk about the bags here very much, because often things tend to be sold out on the website. I just checked, I'm gonna check right now, but today you can find fiber fanny packs. I think I have my one, but this is my fiber fanny pack, and it's perfect for carrying a pair of socks. Let's see if I can fit the two skeins that I'm using. So I have my sock and the two balls. Yeah, that fits nicely over there. So right now I don't have it set up to be a fanny pack. It's more the size of a crossbody bag, so that's how I'm wearing it. And I love that I can just pull out my knitting, and well, everything's kind of tangled but you get the idea. You can knit without snagging. You get the yarn. I can even like close it and pull from my fanny pack like that. So we currently have them in a premium vegetable tanned leather, that it's a bit darker than this regular brown one. We have IC needle wallets for interchangeable needles. I can't find mine one. Oh yeah, here it is. So we have IC needle wallets like this one in, I think we have them in brown and in rose gold. This is my interchangeable needle wallet, and it's one of my favorite, probably my favorite product that we make, where I keep all my tips, and then there's room for my cables and accessories and needle gauge and stuff like that, and everything is tucked into place very neatly, nothing falls, and that's how I carry my interchangeable needles in my leather case. We have also some fixed needle wallets like this one for your, I'm going to sneeze soon, I have a bit of a cold, for your fixed circular needles. This is another thing that I really love, and there's a pocket to carry notions and stuff. Honestly, our needle cases, it's not because I designed them, but they are really good. You won't regret this. So this is for fixed circular needles, and this one's for interchangeable, and they are in stock right now. We have Pampa buckets. I don't have any here, but they are kind of similar to the forage in dusty pink, like a blush pink. And we have three Noah bucket bags. It's like a Pampa, but it has like a drawstring closure and a crossbody strap, so that you can also knit as you go, carrying your project with you. And I don't have any of them with me because I don't get to keep many of my bags. Okay, my next work in progress is living inside a bag that I just kept from the warehouse. I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. We haven't yet shipped them to our collaborator, but we have been working on a bag together with Magpie Fibers. It's a design that we talked about, and now we have produced the first batch. We are going to send them their part of the lot, and we are also going to keep some at Hojie and Co, so these bags are going to be sold on both companies, and I just adore it. So here's a sneak peek. It's based on some of our other designs, but it's like a bigger intermediate pampa in between the small and the large, the extra large pampa, and it has the pockets and it has the shoulder straps. So it's just perfection, and it has the Magpie and Hojie logo. And so I had to keep one in black, of course, my favorite color, and I'm loving it. So soon you will see those with Magpie, and then afterwards we'll have them for Hojie and Co. Here we are making a new sweater design. I'm gonna talk about the yarn. This is Circus Tonic handmade. This is an Australian yarn company, and so she was so nice and she offered to work on a collaboration. She's offered since for at least 5 years, and we were never able to do it. I really love what she does, and so, but I have these problems with getting the yarn, and it was never the right time until she learned that I was going to my sister's, and so we were able to arrange a delivery there. So she sent me a fade. She asked me what colors would you like, and I was really into fades lately. I was working on a wrap using La Bien-Aimée yarn, so I was really enjoying fading, and so I suggested a gradient or a fade set, and she made the most stunning yarn. This is her 50% merino, 50% silk in the sport weight. This is 383 yards per skein, per 100 gram skein. And the color is called 34 degrees south because apparently we're both on the same latitude, even though she's in Australia and I'm in Buenos Aires in Argentina, so far away. Well, of course, there's a big chance that people can be in that latitude. And turns out that we are. So she named this gradient 34 degrees south. And Hannah, I'm talking about. I keep saying she, but I'm talking about Hannah. So this is the first 3 skeins for the set. It's a 5 skein set. And it goes from white with very subtle pink speckles all the way to gold. It's amazing. I love it. Hannah, you did a great job, and I am so lucky to get to work with your yarn, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. So she sent two fade sets. That's the one I decided to work with. The other one is a 3 skein fade set that I have here in sort of like a mauve, pink and purple and gray. This is her Dathlia BFL sock, 80% superwash, blue face Leicester, 20% nylon. I'd love to make 3 pairs of socks with this. Probably mom's going to get some of this yarn. and the colors are called Glee, Bliss, and Euphoria. Beautiful, all three. But I was really in love with 34 degrees south fade set, and so I kept thinking, you know, what can I do, what can I do, what can I do, what can I make? And I've been actually keeping this idea in my sketchbook for some time. It wasn't going to be a fade. It was going to be just a plain color or two colors, one for the mohair and one for the solid yarn. But I thought, how perfect would it be to have a top, a boxy top that features all 5 colors with some mohair sections in between. So I quickly checked my stash to see if I had any mohair to complement these yarns, and I did have a couple of skeins of the Magpie Fibers feather in the off-white color. I don't know what they call it, natural off-white, but it's just the undyed probably color, and it matches, or it suits the fade perfectly, and I am so happy with how this is turning. So as you can see, I already worked colors 1, 2, and I started working with color 3. This is growing very fast because I have now joined the body in the round, and I am knitting continentally, so it grows quicker than it did before. This is a boxy pullover, so it's very wide, and it has the narrow sleeves. And I don't know if you can see how wide this is. So the sleeves are going to start around here. It has a bit of a boat neck, and yeah, I'm really happy with this. I can't stop working on this one. The lace is very easy. I'm using a very easy lace pattern for the mohair bands, and the neckband is going to be a rolled neckband like I did with boxy in color 1, and the sleeves are probably going to be just color 1 if I have enough for it, or maybe 2 colors, but I don't think that I'll do any mohair bands for the sleeves because I don't think that's going to be any comfortable when you wear the garment. So that's one of my new works in progress. That's a design that is just for me and self-publishing, and as soon as it's ready, it's going to go live. It's not for any publication, finally. And so that's my work in progress number 2. And my work in progress number 3, it's also for interpretations in the future sometime. And it's a new wrap that I'm working on. And it's missing some details that I will have to add at the end, like embellishments and so, but this is how it's looking so far. I don't know if you can see the see-throughness. As you know, I like graphic stuff, and I am loving these 2 pieces. It's also quite easy. This one's pretty mindless. So both projects are very enjoyable. I can pick them up and knit on them at any time. And that's why I probably have my sock now a bit abandoned, because even though I grab my knitting when I'm anxious and I want to relax, both of these projects really help me relax because I don't have to think about them really. So my works in progress as of now are actually being knit with yarn that I have acquired recently, and I like that I get to talk about both yarn acquisitions and works in progress at the same time. This is a very beautiful yarn that I'm using. I'm using this merino yarn. It's a single ply merino, and I'm using these mohair yarns, and these all three are from Moondrake Yarn Company, or Moondrake Co yarn. I think it's Moondrake Company yarn. The colors are called, I have more of her yarn here, so I can check the colors. So the color is Rainforest. This is another skein. It's the same color and base I'm using for the wrap. And the pink is called Rose Quartz. The merino base is called Soft Fingering, and it's 100% superwash merino, 400 yards in 100 grams. It's Moondrake Company yarn. And the mohair base is called Mohair Lace, 70% kid mohair, 30% mulberry silk, 460 yards per 50 grams skeins. So 2 skeins of the soft fingering and 1 skein of the merino lace so far, but if I need more yarn, I have what I need here. And then Rachel, the dyer at Moondrake Company yarn, she's fabulous and very generous to me. So when I ordered the yarn to make this wrap from her website, she surprised me by adding some more yarns to the lot, and I love them. One of the yarns that I am most excited to try is this new DK mohair. I have never tried DK weight mohair. I didn't want to start right away with it because I'm already working with some of her yarn, and because I tend to like post photos on Instagram and tag the dyers, I thought I would give the shout outs to another company. But I really like this, and I would have probably started a beanie for myself with it. This is the Moffy DK weight mohair. It's 110 yards per 50 gram skeins. So most 50 gram skeins of mohair have about 400 yards. This one is 110. So it's probably 4 strands together plied or something like that. 70% kid mohair, 30% mulberry silk. And I can't wait to try it. I wonder if it feels like holding 4 or 3 strands of regular mohair together. So she sent 2 skeins in the sand colorway, and no, she sent 3 skeins in sand and 3 skeins in the rose quartz. And I'm probably going to make myself some beanie, basic beanie with the mohair. Okay, some other yarn I recently got is from La Bien Aimée in France. They sent me some of their grays. I don't know how they knew I like this color. And so Amy has recently released a new yarn called the Merino Boucle, which is this one. There we go. And it's really beautiful. It's super soft. I haven't worked with boucle in so many years, and so I wanted to try and swatch it. So this is my swatch. The upper part is made with the boucle on 4mm needles, US 6, and She also sent me some helix to try. The helix is a lace weight, and this is 75% Falkland merino, 25% Gotland wool. So the lower part of my swatch is the helix doubled, and I really like that it created a fabric where you really can't tell that I held two strands together. So I think I might use these two yarns as they look here in the swatch to make some sort of a crop top. I am not much of a crop top wearer myself, but I am getting there. The longer my, how do you call it, the longer the rise, the taller the rise of my jeans, the more confident I am with the cropness of my tops. So I've been wearing a lot of high-rise jeans lately, so I might give it a try. Who knows? We'll see. It's not that I'm self-conscious about my body. It's just that sometimes I feel I'm a bit old for a crop top, but if I can cover my belly button with my jeans or a skirt, then I'm fine with a crop top. I just don't like showing off my belly button at 42. Except when I'm wearing a bikini, and that's fine. I can show it because it's there. It's how my mother used to feed me. So this color that I'm showing in the different bases from La Bien-Aimée is their stone color, which is a medium gray. The Merino Boucle is the new yarn, and it's 200 meter per 50 gram skein. And they also sent me to try their Kumo, 74% baby suri, 26% mulberry silk, 300 meters per 50 gram skein. So suri, alpaca, and some of their mohair silk, which I use for my Elton cardigan. 70% silk, 70% mohair, 30% silk. All of them in the stone colorway. So that's about yarn acquisitions. I have also purchased some yarns while I visited Iceland. I have a lot of yarns to show, but I'll show you these ones today. Maybe I'll show some more the next time I record. These were purchased, I don't remember the name of the yarn store, but I tried to buy yarns that were, if not Icelandic, at least very Scandinavian. These are not Icelandic wool, but they were dyed by a local dyer. So I bought this 4 skein set, hand dyed in Iceland. This is the Vatsnes yarn Perfect Sock, and the colorway name is Varham ad Vaga. Sorry, Icelanders, that must have sounded horrendous. I apologize wholeheartedly. This is chestnut, and this is Dröfu. And I purchased these colors because they remind me of a lot of the most striking landscapes that I saw, especially the basalt columns in a lot of the cascades and beaches that I saw when traveling south in Iceland. And I wanted to bring something that always reminded me of that basalt columns. So these 4 skeins of Vadsnes yarn perfect sock are now home with me. Okay, what else can I tell you about? I want to start a new sweater that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about making a sort of a t-shirt with bodies using a solid yarn hair with mohair, and then details with the single-stranded mohair for a translucent fabric, but not over the top, more like over the sleeves and maybe like a peplum bodice. That is something that I would like to start and maybe carry with me on my trip, because I think that I might finish the boxy sweater before leaving. I'm at the pace that I'm knitting it, and yeah, I'm very inspired. I want to knit all the things, and yeah, I hope I can continue to record. Honestly, I wasn't recording much because I couldn't show you anything I was working on. Everything was super secret and it does not suit me, but it's over now. And then I also wanted to tell you that I'm still training very consistently for my running. In fact, tomorrow we are having an event called the Hojie. You might remember it from last year. We ran last year in May. I ran my first half marathon. So at the time, because it was the pandemic, there weren't any races that you could sign up. So we made our own race together with my cousins and friends who started to join me. And this year we have decided to make it an extensive invitation. So we told our friends and cousins to invite their friends and cousins. And we're running tomorrow at the park where we usually run my weekends. And it's over 70% that will be running, 70 people who will be running or walking together tomorrow morning. And I also extend the invitation to you if you want to run or walk tomorrow and join Hojie virtually, then I hope you do, and I hope you do send me your screen capture of your whatever app you use to track, so that we can celebrate together you taking part in this virtual Hojie, whatever distance you want to run. I have a couple of races coming up that I'm training for. So on July the 3rd, I'm going to try to run a 30-kilometer race here in the city, and we'll see how my body does with that distance and see if I can sign up for something more after that. And then at the end of the year, my cousin Laura and I are going to do my first ultra trail race, which is 100 kilometers divided into 3 days. So it's 33 kilometers, and we'll be sleeping in campsites, which is very, very adventurous. And my body is definitely not ready for that. I just want you to know. There will have to be a lot of training leading up to that date, but that is my project for the upcoming December. So I wanted to share with you all what I'm excited about and what I'm determined to do and fighting for. So that's my project for this year, apart from all of the knitting that I'm obviously very excited about. And yeah, so I don't know, I think I covered a lot of what's going on around here. I have so much more to share. I didn't talk about any of my trips, but it was just too much for a single journal. If you want me to talk about something in particular next time I record, please leave a comment. Please leave a comment even if you don't want me to talk about anything in particular. I just love reading what you liked and didn't like about my videos, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.